Hello friends, today I'll be showing you how to remove the rear seat cushion on my 6th generation, that's 2012 to 2025 Mitsubishi Mirage. But before I do that, I'd like to show you how far the front driver's seat will fold back with the rear seat cushion installed. As you can see, although the seat does recline very far back, this is not the most comfortable angle for something like sleeping, and it is a little bit claustrophobic because my head is kind of close to the ceiling. Removal of the rear seat cushion requires no tools. There are two hooks along the leading edge of the seat cushion that hold it down. These hooks are positioned roughly centered with the front driver and front passenger seats. Pulling straight up close to where the hook is will release the seat cushion from the hook. With both hooks released, the front edge of the seat can be lifted up and the seat can be slid out. Taking a closer look at the seat cushion, we can see it's like a wire mesh frame that has foam injection molded over it. Here's a good look at the two hooks I was talking about earlier. And you can see there are these three tabs that engage with the seat back. The passenger side one is smooth, center one is a hook, and the driver's side one is also smooth. And these slots are where the seatbelt buckles go. Looking at where our seat cushion formerly was, we can see the socket that the seat cushion hook goes into, and this is some sort of likely butyl sound deadening mat that's glued down. This helps with vibrations and road noise to make the car feel more sturdy. I also see random dirt. This cover is for the fuel pump, and then I also see the associated wiring for the fuel pump, maybe the evap system, and maybe the fuel sender unit. And there's some lifesaver candies. Now with the rear seat cushion out, let's test and see how far back we can recline the driver's seat. The headrest is now hitting the rear seat backrest, so I'm going to raise the front driver's seat and lower the headrest. In addition to the more comfortable seat back angle for sleeping, I'm able to almost fully extend my hands, which makes me feel less claustrophobic as there's more space between my face and the roof. Looking through the rear hatch at the rear seat backrest, we can see there's a 60/40 partition with 3 brackets, each with 2 bolts that hold it to the vehicle. This center one also has the 2 seatbelt buckles mounted to it, and the standalone bolt is for the rear left seatbelt buckle, and there's the other bracket with 2 more bolts. Fold the seat down, we can see those lower latch anchors for child seats. Here's a closer look at how those seatbelt buckles are attached to this bracket, and you can see there's a center rod that attaches those rear seat backs together and allows them to pivot independently. From back here you can also see this wire that the rear seat cushion was hooking onto. I'll talk about a couple of cool quirks of the rear seats in my Mirage. The first being the screenshot from the owner's manual indicating that there's a holder for the outer seat latches to keep them out of the way when you have the seats folded. The outer seatbelt latch just fits right into this slot and is held in place with friction. The driver's side has an identical slot on the C-pillar. Now I'm going to fold the seats back up. Another cool quirk is the outboard seat belts are completely independent of the backrest. Backrest can be removed without touching them. And the outer seatbelt buckles are spring-loaded to prevent them from rattling. We'll now reinstall our rear seat cushion together. Here you see me putting the buckles into these slots in the rear seat cushion. Now I just need to angle the seat upward and push inward towards the rear of the vehicle to get that center hook underneath that wire. It's too difficult to do with one hand, so here's me doing it with two hands. Now that we've got the rear seat cushion installed, I'm going to spread the cushion apart here so we can verify that that hook is correctly wrapped around that wire. So you can see here that black metal wire with the fabric wrapped hook behind it. The hook is likely fabric wrapped to stop vibrations and rattling noises. Looking at it from the rear, it's a little bit easier to verify that the hook goes around that wire. So you can see that's the fabric wrapped metal hook. Here are the service manual instructions for how to install the rear seat cushion. Here is a diagram of the rear seats along with the torque specifications for the brackets that hold the rear seat backrest. If you intend on removing the rear seat backrest, the shaft that goes between them is permanently affixed to the larger partition behind the driver's side of the vehicle, and the two backrests must be 90 degrees apart for the shaft to allow the other partition to release. The reason the two rear seat backrests need to be 90 degrees apart to be separated is because the hole on the smaller partition on the passenger side is bow tie shaped. This ensures that when both rear seat backrests are upright, they are interlocked with each other and cannot be separated. Here's what that shaft on the larger backrest partition looks like. Notably, it has a pointy conical shape to help with alignment during installation. Here's a photo I found online of the Mirage with both rear seat backrests removed. Notably, only the outer brackets with 2 bolts each and the driver's side seat belt buckle with its single bolt have been removed here. The center bracket can remain installed while the backrests are being removed. Also notably, that wire you see near the driver's side seat pillar, that's for the push to start system. It's an antenna to detect the presence of the key. Also, as mentioned earlier in the video, the outer seat belts can remain installed while the rear seat backrest is removed. Here's yet another diagram of the Mirage's rear seats. here's a diagram which includes the torque specifications of the Mirage's rear seat belts. Thank you for watching. Please leave any questions, comments, concerns, or feedback down below.